With only hours until the most substantial and potentially bone-changing news the crypto space has received ever. This isn't just big, it's pretty big. So if you understand that this could be big, but it could also be just regular size as well, hit that like and subscribe. Get signed up with FEMX or BITUNIX below if you want to buy Bitcoin, altcoins, or trade. Without any further ado, we only have hours left. The Friday, March 7th Crypto Summit, the very first of its kind, has the potential to be bigger than anything we could ever imagine. Will we get dumped on? Will we get pumped on? Or will we get dumped and pumped on and potentially dumped and pumped on, another time after that? So let's discuss exactly what we know so far. It's that breaking news, the U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick says the strategic Bitcoin reserve will be announced at Trump White House Summit. Other tokens will be treated positively, but differently. Basically, we're going to potentially have a differentiation between the nuances of Bitcoin and the crypto space. I'm sure you've seen the debating and everything, right? I personally believe that a Bitcoin strategic reserve should exist, but I have a little bit of a different opinion. Some people think you should only have a Bitcoin reserve. Some people think we should only have a crypto reserve with both Bitcoin and other cryptos. And then I kind of, my opinion is a little more nuanced, I guess. I definitely think a Bitcoin strategic reserve should exist on its own and should exist. But then I'm not super against the idea of a crypto strategic reserve or some sort of other basket of other cryptocurrencies, as long as there is a Bitcoin strategic reserve and as long as there is a differentiation between them. That's really what I feel. I lean more towards basically only wanting a Bitcoin strategic reserve, but the idea of also getting a separate reserve for other top cryptos doesn't make me break down crying, and a lot of other people just get really emotional and upset about that. I don't necessarily get upset about it. I don't think it's the end of the world if we get a Bitcoin and a crypto, like two different ones. But I personally do think that we should not mix Bitcoin with the other cryptocurrencies if there is a strategic reserve. Meaning, there should be a standalone Bitcoin strategic reserve, in my opinion. And then, sure, why not? We could throw some top other cryptos into a different crypto reserve. Whatever. I don't care that much. And we know this as well. Howard Lutnick suggested Bitcoin would receive unique status under Trump's plan. A Bitcoin strategic reserve is something the president's interested in. He spoke about it all during the campaign trail, and he says he thinks we're going to see it executed on Friday. Bitcoin is one thing, and then other currencies, other crypto tokens, I think will be treated differently, positively but differently. So basically, my opinion also seems to be the one that makes the most sense based on what they're saying. Meaning, my opinion of there should be a Bitcoin strategic reserve, and then sure, whatever, we could have a different crypto strategic reserve of a different basket of other cryptos, but they will be viewed differently. That seems to be what the administration is telling us. So my opinion is more so the opinion of what they're literally telling us is going to happen. We also have a guest list. We have Michael Saylor that's confirmed to be attending the White House Digital Assets Summit in just hours, alongside other massive figures. We have Brad Garlickhouse, Brad Garlick-Bread from XRP, Ripple. We have Chainlink's co-founder Sergey Nazarov, JP Richardson, the Exodus CEO, and we have other people as well. So there's quite a list of people going, and I think that in terms of price, this is actually an interesting topic as well. In terms of price, what is going to happen? Well, I've been in the space for about 8 years. One thing I think that is guaranteed to happen is that we're going to see a lot of volatility. We're going to see some of this, some ups, some downs, maybe a lot of ups and a lot of downs and a lot of downs and a lot of ups, all within a 24-hour period. A lot of buy the rumor, sell the news. I think it's going to be a very volatile day. I think people are going to get liquidated. I think people are going to, on both sides of the trade, get probably banged. But if there is an actual announcement, if there's a true announcement of a Bitcoin strategic reserve, this is a big if. I mean, Howard Lutnick is telling us that we will get it. But if we did get it, the price of Bitcoin would go to $110,000 plus in a single candle, in my opinion. If during this crypto summit, which I don't have a strong opinion on if it will or won't happen, I guess honestly, if I'm being honest, I'm erring on the side of caution in the sense that I don't necessarily think there is going to be a massive announcement. But I'm not 50-50. I guess I'm like 60-40. I'm like 60%. I think there's the chance we probably won't get any crazy announcement, but I think 40% chance we will get. So even though I think it's more likely we won't get any crazy announcement, I still think there's a decent chance we actually could get a pretty big announcement. Not like overwhelming, but again, almost 50-50. So if we did get one of these announcements, which you always want to be on your toes and tips for, the tip of your toes for like these type of breaking news that'll completely shatter and move the market, I personally think that the price of Bitcoin would do something like this just very quickly, right? Within a daily candle. I think we would just completely shatter these previous all-time highs and just blow to the upside. Even if we did do that, though, I think it's just going to be very volatile. I think we're going to get dumps within that same day period. But again, if we just get a pure Bitcoin strategic reserve announcement, then I mean, from here, what would that be? A 20% candle would take us to about 110,000, almost. A 25% candle, about 113,000, something like that. Those are the type of candles I would expect if we got a Bitcoin strategic reserve, purely a Bitcoin strategic reserve announcement. If we also get more clarification on altcoins and we see altcoins go, well, we already know the administration is pretty pro altcoin as well, just pretty pro crypto overall, Bitcoin and altcoins. If we get one of those announcements, we could take a look. I mean, for example, Cardano pumped the most recently on that crypto news, pumped about 60% in a single day. If we got announcement with something like Cardano, Solana, XRP, again, another day of 60+% gains, I personally think, for Cardano and stuff like that. So it's interesting. We're just hours away. I mean, it's going to be on Friday, March 7th. I probably won't be making a video tomorrow unless some breaking news happens, but really nothing really crazy important is going to happen until we see this summit. This is where they're telling us they're creating a summit for crypto updates. This is going to be the crypto update day. It should be the biggest day for crypto since this new administration took office in the US. So I personally am just sitting back and waiting. I think this is the big day, meaning March 7th, where we should expect some actual clarification. We've had a lot of teasing, a lot of foreplay, but no actual crazy substantial. I mean, we are getting really good news in terms of like banks being allowed to custody Bitcoin and all this kind of stuff. It has been very pro crypto in general, but Friday could be the day. Okay. Now, as I say that, I also do want to clarify it could be a big bowl of nothing. There could be nothing big that comes out of it. But that's the risk to reward. Basically, you're going into this. It's basically a trade. Whether or not you're in an active, like, short-term trade or you're just holding long-term, this is a very big moment for the space. And before I continue with that, I do want to highlight that whales are buying Bitcoin like we've never seen before. This is the inflows to accumulation addresses, massive amounts of buying before Friday. Is that an indication that potentially people in the know, potentially big players in the space know something big is coming Friday? Well, let's be honest. They also are kind of telling us, it could be a fake out, but they kind of are telling us something is big or something big is coming on Friday. I mean, he straight up said it will be announced. So in a sense, he is telling us that, but it also, it's not true until it actually happens. We need to see if it actually happens. But as well, if we look at the previous Bitcoin cycles, this is literally the worst time to sell. In terms of the time after the halving, this is the worst time in history, historically, based on the cycles. If you trust the cycles, this is the worst time to be selling your position. So very important to realize. We did come down, right? We filled the CME gap. We have reset a lot of momentum. We have had a dump. This market is primed, I think, to initiate mega boosters. But I mean, look at this weekly candle we got. Bullish. We closed above the 21 week. Currently, we're right on the edge there. A Bitcoin strategic reserve announcement would absolutely do this to the weekly candle, in my opinion. It would be no question. We already saw how big of a move we just saw basically when they just reiterated another statement, which you'd already said before about a crypto strategic reserve is coming, and the market pumped a lot, right? This was on Sunday the 2nd over the weekend. The market pumped like crazy when we got a recycled headline, something not even new. The market is ready to explode. The market is quite literally just waiting for the announcement of a Bitcoin strategic reserve. If we get it on Friday, this market is going banana mode and there is no going back. If you are sidelined right now, and if you are sidelined on March 7th on Friday, and there is an announcement and you're sidelined, you will have no choice but to buy in higher because it's going much higher. That's my base case. Whenever we get a Bitcoin Strategic Reserve announcement, we're going up. And you just pretty much, it could be on Fridays when we get the announcement. It could be never, technically, right? It's not guaranteed. It's very likely we will get one, but that's the game you're playing, is that once a Bitcoin Strategic Reserve is announced, if and when it is announced, you are going to regret not being invested, period. That's the risk. The gamble is, will we get a Bitcoin Strategic Reserve? If the answer is yes, then you want to be in Bitcoin, period. No questions asked, right? But again, like I said, the only question is, will we get one? That's the big if. But I mean, as we all know, it's very likely, based on everything we've seen and we've heard, it's very likely we are going to get one. And it's very likely that we have a literal day of when we will get it. Friday, March 7th as well. So the US dollar index is absolutely crashing. I actually probably should have mentioned this earlier in the video because this is very important, but the US dollar is plummeting. This is historically a very good sign for risk assets and Bitcoin specifically. What does the market know? As I talked about, we knew that as soon as Trump took office, it is very likely that the US dollar would start plummeting. This right around here is when Trump took office, right around literally the top is right about when Trump took office, right about here. And as you can see, I mean, like basically it's down about 5% since Trump took office. I think that this has a long way to go to the downside, okay? If this ends up going down, one, that'll be exactly what I said, but two, I'm not some sort of genius. That's just literally what the data shows. That's what most people that are informed in this space knew was going to happen once Trump took office. So this isn't big. It's actually insanely big. We have only hours left. What do you think is going to happen? Maybe leave a comment below. Do you think we're going to get a massive announcement? Do you think this is all bananas and not going to be massively big? Or in fact, do you think it's going to be bigger than your wildest dreams? But get signed up to FEMX or BITUNIX below if you want Bitcoin, altcoins, or trade. Without your friend, thank you.